Is that folk music that you play there? What is that? How do you call that folk music?
I think it was Studs Terkel who asked Big Bill Brunzi, did he consider his blues music to be folk music? And Big Bill says, well, never heard no horses.
Don't hesitate. It could be your ticket to a new tomorrow.
So it all comes down to this. When everything is said and done, when your lips break from the kiss, will you stay or will you run? It's a moment of decision. It isn't chance, it isn't fate. It's what your heart can then envision. It's in the odds that you will take. 'Cause that kiss can burn, that kiss can freeze. It'll crucify you, bring you to your knees. You might surrender, you might resist, but what is the truth behind your kiss? What is the truth behind your kiss? So will you step into the circle? Believe that love can overcome. See the doubt as just a hurdle, and there's a prize that can be won. Nothing guarantees the future except for promises like this. When the love you give is pure and your lips break from the kiss. 'Cause that kiss can burn, that kiss can freeze. It'll crucify you, bring you to your knees. You might surrender, you might resist, but what is the truth behind your kiss? When everything is said and done, will you stay or will you run? 'Cause that kiss can burn, that kiss can freeze, it'll crucify you, bring you to your knees. You might surrender, you might resist, but what is the truth behind your kiss? 'Cause that kiss can burn, that kiss can freeze, it'll crucify you, bring you to your knees. You might surrender, you might resist, but what is the truth behind your kiss?
It all comes down to this.
The truth behind your kiss.
It all comes down to this.
The truth behind your kiss.
It all comes down to this.
The truth behind your kiss.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is a great song.
Thanks, Ralph.
Thanks, Ralph.
My name is Ralph Litwood, and the show is Horses Sing None of It. And these guys, my guests, have so many honors I have to read it off of a list.
Together in 2007, they've been selected as Kerrville New Folk finalists, Falcon Ridge Folk Festival Emerging Artists, and with the Folk Alliance, they've been selected as showcase artists, formal showcase artists in the Southwest Regional, Northeast Regional, and International. That's quite a rack of accomplishments for 1 year.
It was a very good year for us. We were very appreciative and humbled by the
Absolutely.
selection.
Siobhan, Quinn,
It is a pleasure. It is a
Michael
pleasure.
Bowers.
Very good.
Pleasure to have you on.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here.
So tell us about that song.
That was our first fight song. We were married only 4 years ago, so 4 or 5 years ago, somewhere in there. And notice I said 4 or 5 years ago.
We had a very fast courtship, and everything went swimmingly for about 4 or 5 months after our marriage, which was really fast. Then one day we had that fight. You know, the wedding was over, the marriage had begun.
The honeymoon was definitely
so,
over at that moment.
So we had a fight, and I thought, you know, one of us needs a good talking to right now, and it's probably me. And so I wrote the verses to the song, and then after we got over ourselves a bit, we wrote the chorus and the bridge and finished it up. It's a challenge to yourself to think about what you meant when you said those words.
Yeah. So that's where it all came from.
Cool.
And I moved down to Alexandria, Virginia from upstate New York when we were married, and we just it was really beginning a wonderful new chapter in our lives, because we had never partnered musically before together, and it was really a neat opportunity for us to write together, for us to perform together, and we've become true partners in everything, and it's a great honor to have that.
Cool.
It's a song we wrote in Alexandria. Like to hear it?
Yeah.
I wrote this on a very warm day in November. There had actually been thunderstorms in Alexandria that day, and I walked around. We'd been in a war for a long time, and we were looking for some changes when I wrote this song, and I wrote it as both a prayer and a promise for all of us, I think. Not as a political statement, but as a statement for a hope that we can all follow the great part of who we are and not the small part of who we are.
For every cold, dark night, for every thunderstorm, there is a calm new light, and I say, let it come. For every bloody fight, for every hate-filled tongue, there is a word of peace, and I say, let it come, let it come, let it come between us, like a soothing breeze, like a sprig of hope from a dove of peace. And in this moment, we are face to face. Can we touch the truth? Can we feel the grace? Can we let it come?
For every lonely soul, for every dream that's lost, there is a harbor home, and I say, let it come.
I say, let it come. For every breaking heart,
I say let it come.
I say let it come. Let it come between us like a soothing breeze, like a sprig of hope from a dove of peace. And in this moment we are face to face. Can we touch the truth? Can we feel the grace? Can we let it come? I say let it come. For every cold, dark night, for every thunderstorm, there is a calm new light, and I say let it come.
Thanks. Thanks, sir.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Delicate.
Have a tuning moment.
We write a lot of our songs based around the city of Alexandria and where we live and the people that we know and where we travel to, especially. So it's been wonderful to work together that way.
What guitar is adjusting under the lights? Yeah, I tend to write a lot of my songs about a sense of place, at least, or some story. I try to connect them. This next one I wrote traveling down the Pacific Coast Highway between San Francisco and Santa Cruz.
And that's a beautiful
It's
drive.
a beautiful drive,
Yeah,
wonderful
totally.
drive. And if anyone hasn't done it,
You should.
you should.
Absolutely. Such a beautiful space.
Yeah, this song is about a building that I saw on that drive and some folks that I had a conversation with. Out on the shoreline, I see a lighthouse. It stands at the ready for those in need. And I'm driving to nowhere, so I stop for an hour. I find a light keeper, and he says too, I know ships don't need me to sail through these waters. Satellites guide them past this rocky shore. But on those cold, dark and lonely nights, every traveler finds comfort in my light. So I'm gonna shine on, shine on, and hope you remember my light long after you're gone. Waning of dusk to the waking of dawn, I'll be here and I'll shine. I'll shine on. Like my father, his father before him, I live by the rhythm of these crashing waves. And I've got tattered letters written by sailors. They tell the stories of ships that were saved. But Now it's the tourists who come from the roadside, and they leave me notes in a book by my door. But they still talk about cold and lonely nights, and how travelers find comfort in my light. So I'm gonna shine on, and hope you remember my light long after you have gone. From the waning of dusk to the waking of dawn, I'll be here and I'll shine. Well, I shook that keeper's hand and I drove away. And now on cold, dark nights I still hear him say, I'm gonna shine on, and hope you remember my light long after you have gone. From the waning of dusk to the waking of dawn, I'll be here and I'll shine. I'll shine on. I'll shine on. Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you, sir. We should let folks know how they can find out more information about your various recordings and touring schedule.
Absolutely.
We probably have the longest URL on the planet. It's after the title of actually our latest disc. We just decided to load everything pretty much there. And the title of our disc is Dreamers, Lovers, and Outlaws. So the URL, the webpage where you can find almost everything about us is dreamersloversandoutlaws.com. So it's very long, but once you get that in your head, it tends to stick.
And it's easier to spell than Siobhan. So, you know, it's one of those things.
We had
when
quite
they
a
try
journey.
when they try to spell my name, it tends to get a little bit crazy. But
You both have solo discs.
yes, we do. Michael put out Reluctant Believer a few years back, just before we got married, actually, and so that was really neat. And I've been in a number of different projects. One with Ben Murray, and played down through New Jersey as well, and also Bone Shaker, which was a transatlantic Celtic Americana group out of Sheffield, the UK, and Troy, New York, and Alexandria, Virginia. So we did all sorts of things. The interesting thing about that project was that it was funded through the New York Foundation for the Arts, and they sent me over to study with this traditional group called Bone Shaker, and they taught me a lot about American songs, and I taught them a lot about Irish and English songs. So it was lots of fun. But we also taught each other about our own traditions as well. So it was good fun.
Guitar is having a little trouble adjusting to the north. We drove up from Alexandria. I think it's thinking about humidity and other things. So this next song is one that is on that latest disc, Dreamers, Lovers, and Outlaws. It actually is one that people get intrigued by. It's one that I think is responsible for some of those things that you mentioned earlier. It's a song about a one-night stand, but not your average, ordinary one-night stand, because it involves ghosts and other things like that.
She was a Rudy Valentino with a heart as big as Reno, the biggest little city in the world. He was modest like Port Jervis, perpetually nervous, wrapped tight like an oyster round a pearl. She always got her man, and he was always second Stanley with the girls. It was an accidental meeting. He was not inclined toward cheating. It was the only seat left vacant at the bar. And in a scene straight from Fellini, he sipped a dirty, dry martini. And she leaned in and let him glimpse her charms. Well, his alcohol caught fire when she bummed a light and brushed against his arm. Innocence remembered is innocence lost. Desire is a bridge for lines too easily crossed. No one is immune, not one soul can boast. Every heart is haunted by Valentino's ghost.
From lobby to hotel room, there was a trailing scent of perfume, a passion play for any passerby. They willingly surrendered to the currency as tender,
Unaware of just what that would buy.
you always find the naked truth when every word that's spoken is a lie. Innocence remembered is innocence lost. Desire is a bridge for lines too easily crossed. No one is immune, not one soul can boast. Every heart is haunted by Valentino's ghost. Well, she thought she comprehended how the story always ended. You play the game, winner takes it all. Well, how the hell could she know that the ghost of Valentino would turn the trick and she would take the fall? Now Rudy is not nervous, and women answer to his beck and call. Innocence remembered is innocence lost. Desire is a bridge for lines too easily crossed. No one is immune, not one soul can boast. Every heart is haunted by Valentino's ghost. Now he's a Rudy Valentino, and he's got a heart as big as Reno. The biggest little, biggest little, biggest little city in the world.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
I wonder how the light bulb went off when the inspiration came for that song.
Well, Siobhan had a lot of lines about she was a Rudy Valentino. And it just so happens that my father was in the military when I was young. So I knew that Reno's slogan was the biggest little city in the world. And so she said, she's got a heart as big as Reno. And I said, the next line has to be the biggest little city in the world. And so it kind of rolled from there.
And
we
Port Jervis had to come in with it because nervous Jervis, you know what? It works.
So we just created.
Yeah. We should
Great.
end up with. Hey, do you want to join us on a song?
I'd love to.
That'd be
Is this,
really neat. Let's do that.
We got time for two more or one more? We going out?
No.
just got about 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Okay, so let's do this song. It comes from a poem, which is long in public domain. Robert Louis Stevenson, Child's Garden of Verses, and it's Escape at Bedtime. And we'd love to have you play some harmonica on this.
Thank
It'd be great.
My pleasure.
It's a cowboy waltz.
The lights from the parlor and kitchen shone out through the blinds and windows and bars, and high overhead and all moving about, there were thousands and millions of stars. And there were such thousands of leaves on a tree, nor a people in church or the park, as the crowds of the stars that looked down upon me, and that glittered and winked in the dark. The dog and the plow and the hunter and all, and the star of the sailor and the Mars, they shone in the sky, and the pail by the wall would be half full of water and stars. Well, they saw me at last, and they chased me with cries, and they soon have me packed in my bed. But the glory came